upgraded like crazy, massive walk-in. Is that an eagle's nest? Probably the nicest one on the market. Really great little downtown areas. Clermont and Winter Garden both have something for you. Two of the fastest growing places in all of Central Florida are Winter Garden and Clermont. And while they're very similar in a lot of different ways, there's some lifestyle things that make some people very passionate about choosing one or the other. So today I'm going to go through 5 to 7 different categories between location and housing and lifestyle and help you make a decision if you're looking to move to Winter Garden or Clermont. All right, so let's set some ground rules of what Winter Garden is and what Clermont is as of today's video. We're talking about 34787, the zip code of Winter Garden. That includes the city of plus Horizon West. And then over in Clermont, we're talking about 34714 and 34711, which includes the downtown area and everything kind of down 27. When I think about the areas that people want to move to most, and they're thinking about when they're relocating to the area, those pretty much define those two areas really, really well. Now, if you're thinking about Clermont, where is that located? On a map, it's Lake County. It's west of Orlando by about 20 miles. To get there, you could go off 27, you could go off one of the different toll roads, and it really kind of feels like an island unto itself, which is actually part of the charm. Winter Garden is just above Disney by about 25 minutes up to 429. It really runs up and down the 429 in general. And so its accessibility to the Disney area is one of the main draws to the area, and it's really cute downtown. One of the biggest topics to think about when you're moving to either Winter Garden or Clermont is housing. And both of them have a lot of similarities. There's plenty of different apartment buildings that you can rent. There's production style homes, and there's new communities popping up everywhere. And so if you're interested in a Lennar, D.R. Horton, Pulte, David Weekley, there's plenty of different options for you. But I wanted to take you to two maybe different options that you might not automatically think of when you're thinking Clermont or Winter Garden. Welcome to Oakland Park. If you've checked out Baldwin Park before, or maybe even Celebration, Oakland Park feels very similar to that. It's got the white picket fence and it's super clean and has a sense of Americana that is only found in a couple different places here in Central Florida. A lot of the houses are rear entry and have the James Hardy siding, which I think looks really, really good and just very different than some of the other production builders that we're seeing throughout Greater Orlando. The size of houses here in Oakland Park range from 1,500 square feet all the way up to about 4,000 square feet. So depending on the size you're looking for or your overall budget, Oakland Park will probably have that for you. You have access to a lot of great HOA amenities here as well. From the 2 different pools, you've got a lot of different pocket parks, and just kind of the way that it's overall kept is one of the reasons why people choose Oakland Park over so many other places. Now there's 3 different builders here in the neighborhood. You've got J&J Custom Homes. They have a few different lots that are left. You've got David Weekley, and right now they're all sold out, although they probably will release in the future. And then Rockwell Homes. They've actually chosen my team to close out the rest of the community for them. They've got about 13 different lots left, a few different model homes, and actually I want to show you the model that we have, and let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, so this is the Jackson model, and there's actually 3 different models by Rockwell here in Oakland Park. They're all 2,200 square feet up to 2,600 square feet, and the reason I think a lot of people are gonna love this one is because it does offer a study on the main level, plus the primary suite is down on the main level as well. It has different models that you can go 3 bedrooms with a loft or 4 bedrooms, depending on what you're looking to do. Being that this is a model, it's upgraded like crazy throughout. You're gonna see there's waterfall countertops here, lots of woodwork, but really you're looking at the layout of this one, and I think it lives really well. Back on this side, you have the living space, and I think this plus the loft upstairs is my favorite combination. And back over here, let's take a look at the primary. You notice there's 8-foot doors all the way on this main level, and it gets a lot of natural light all the way around it as well. I think Rockwell does a good job with their overall level of quality compared to a lot of the production builders that we see throughout Central Florida. The primary offers 2 dual sinks here, and this one's set up with a full shower with a Euro glass and all that good stuff. And they brought the tile all the way back into this massive walk-in. This has to be at least 7 by 8 or something like that. It's a really good size walk-in. I love this 2-story great room. It brings a lot of natural light up into this main area. And so if you're looking for 2 living spaces, the downstairs area plus a loft space, maybe for kids or just kind of having separation, this is a great option. But they do have an option where this can actually be walled off and made into a 4th bedroom. You've got bedrooms number 2 and 3 right here and share that common bathroom right behind you. Unlike a lot of builders in the area that are not building spec homes, this builder actually is. There's gonna be a few models that are ready late summer, and there's actually multiple other ones you can build from the ground up. So whether you're looking for those little touches, those last minute details to add yourself, or you're looking for something that's a little bit quicker but new construction, we've got something for you. Homes here in Oakland Park by Rockwell Homes range between $8,000 and a little over $900,000 depending on the lot you choose, overall pricing, and upgrades. It's interesting to see when you compare Clermont and Winter Garden in regards to size overall. Winter Garden is about 18 square miles, Clermont is about 19 square miles. You look at the overall density though of both of them, and Clermont still has a lot more room to grow. And so as you're driving up and down 27, or you're just kind of driving around Clermont in general, it feels a little bit more open. It feels a little bit more like Winter Garden did 10 years ago. And so if you're looking to be part of something that's growing, Clermont seems like that's the option for you. Although there's still plenty of options in Winter Garden. If you look at the Horizon West area in general, there's about 15 different neighborhoods that still are ready to come online with thousands more homes to go. And so that creates its own sense of challenges with new schools and new roads and a lot of other things going on. And really both cities are going through the exact same thing where you've got this explosive growth, a lot of people moving to the area, and it's a little bit less established. That being said, both of them have really great little downtown areas and more established communities. And so if you don't want to be part of that hustle and bustle and all of the different growth, you don't have to be. When I was going through our listings for sale in Clermont, I wanted to show you guys something really unique. Now there's some great houses throughout Clermont, but this one really is probably the nicest one on the market for the price point. This house in Windermere would be like $3 or $4 million, but here in Clermont, you get 2.5 acres, over 3,500 square feet, and really custom level finishes for $1.6 million. I'm excited to show you inside. This property is by Emerald Park Builders, and I've had the privilege of watching it from the ground up, and it's really cool to see what they've done. The level of finishes in here are just definitely above any production style home anywhere else in Clermont. And so on the main level, you have the primary suite in the back. You do have 2 bedrooms down here as well. And then upstairs, I'll show you, we've got a media room and an office overlooking this really beautiful lot. In the kitchen here, there's a lot of elevated finishes. You had some open shelving there, really cool tile backsplash. And I just really love the choices that they've made throughout here, really utilizing this entire space. Back on this side, you've got an open living space and a tucked away breakfast nook. For 3,500 square feet, I think it lives actually bigger than that, especially when you start considering all of the covered outdoor space. Let's go back over here and check out the primary suite. So as you come back over here, you guys know if you've watched my channel, I'm big on natural light. And so you've got this massive bank over here. You actually have a little bit of a sneak peek of Lake Apopka back over there, but plenty of natural light. The beams and the finishes on the ceilings with the trim package that they put in here is definitely an elevated experience compared to a lot of other things. You've got 2 massive walk-in closets that lead you right into this master suite bath. You've got 2 dual sinks here, a soaker tub, and a really good sized shower as you walk through here with the pebble flooring and everything like that. When I saw the overall finishes of the primary suite, I was just really impressed. For one, with what the finishes that they chose, but 2, the overall size. 3,500 square feet is a great size home, but you usually get a much smaller primary suite. I think it's gonna be something that you'd be very impressed with should you call this home. One of the things I love about this house is the outdoor space. You could easily screen this in and or add a pool, and you still have so much land. You've got a homeowners association conservation buffer in the back here, but it's just something that you actually feel like you have your own compound compared to so many other neighborhoods where everything's on top of each other, even in this price point. And so I think it's really cool, even in this location in Clermont, you're not too far. You're maybe 20 minutes from downtown Winter Garden. And so if you want to have that as an option and then another 20 minutes from downtown Clermont, this is a great spot. As you get to the top of the stairs here, it's a really great layout. For one, you've got still elevated ceilings up here, and a lot of times builders are bringing them down to save money on the overall construction cost, but they didn't cheap out here. You've got an office on the second level, which I think is a cool difference. Usually people would make this an extra bedroom, but the fact that you've got the bedrooms downstairs gives you a little bit of a hideaway this way. And then right behind us, we have a full media room. You can easily use this as a game room, a loft area. You can close out the windows and make this really cool with a TV on the wall. Really great space, and downstairs is already a fairly open size space, so I think it's a really great addition. And then lastly, we've got a full suite up here, the 4th bedroom with a nice walk-in, really nicely appointed shower and bathroom area, and then this beautiful view out the back. So overall, I think this is a very cool layout and a good job by the builder. So not every house in Clermont is $1.6 million sitting on 2.5 acres, but I wanted to show you both in Winter Garden with Oakland Park, something a little bit different, and in Clermont, something a little bit different and elevated. So we're looking for apartment living, or you're looking for active adult communities that are gated with plenty to do. If you're looking for just a great suburban family neighborhood and everything in between, Clermont and Winter Garden both have something for you. All right, so there's still a lot more to compare Clermont and Winter Garden. Let's go to the downtown areas and see which one wins out. Clermont, Florida is actually located in Lake County. Now, Lake County is off to the west side of Orlando, whereas Winter Garden is in Orange County. If you look at the overall taxes between Lake County and Orange County, Lake County actually had 1.28% for their overall taxes on the assessed value, whereas Orange County is 1.3%. So it's pretty negligible, the difference between taxes, but the overall pricing of the homes in Winter Garden is higher, so taxes will be higher. Just some things to think about when you're thinking through your budget. When you think about housing and where people own versus rent, over in Clermont, 70% of the people that live there actually own their home, versus in Winter Garden, only 65% of the people who live there actually own their place. I looked at really clearly because of the apartments. I don't really see more houses for rent in Winter Garden than Clermont, but there's a lot more apartment building options that are currently popping up. Now, Clermont has a lot more bandwidth, especially up and down 50 and 27, to put up massive different developments, and they will. And so it'll be interesting to see how that all levels out over the next decade. All right, downtown Winter Garden. There's probably no downtown that draws people more to a city in Central Florida than downtown Winter Garden. Maybe Winter Park, but almost every client of ours that moves to Winter Garden tells us that the reason that they did was because they came down here for a farmer's market or for some different event. Especially around Christmas time, this place is absolutely magical. That being said, downtown Clermont has a lot of great things to offer as well, especially in the future. They've got the lakefront there, and there's so much new development that's going to be for retail and new restaurants and shops and that sort of thing up and down Clermont. So I think long-term, Clermont actually has the better opportunity to build out a really cute downtown, but as of today, Winter Garden takes the cake. All right, so before we get into schools and safety and some other stuff that you guys probably want to know about, what about recreation and what there is to do outside? I think this is where Clermont absolutely shines, because Winter Garden has some lakes. You've got Lake Apopka, which nobody's going in. You've got some smaller lakes that are definitely in the neighborhoods and are pretty to look at, but you're not usually going fishing and boating and jet skiing and that sort of thing. Over in Clermont, you've got the hills of Clermont. It's beautiful outside. There's state parks, there's beautiful lakes, Lake Minneola, Lake Minnehaha, Lake Louisa. There's just a lot of outdoor beauty that Winter Garden doesn't have. One of my favorite amenities in the west side of town here is the West Orange County Trail. Right now it's about 20 miles long and goes from Apopka. Eventually we'll go all the way back up over by Mount Dora. And so if you're into running or biking, this is a beautiful place to feel like you're in old Florida with these trees everywhere. It's just this most picturesque thing on the west side of town. You see that right there? Is that an eagle's nest? I think it's huge. It's giant. It's as big as that walk-in closet was the other day. But overall, when you're comparing Clermont to Winter Garden, I think Clermont is where it wins out. All right, so I'm not technically allowed to talk about schools and safety in terms of my personal opinion as a real estate agent. But what I like to do is go online to niche.com and greatschools.com and kind of resource together what the community believes in terms of the schools and safety and nightlife and that sort of thing. And so here's where they ranked both Clermont and Winter Garden. In Clermont, they said public schools was a B+. In Winter Garden, they said public schools was an A-. In housing, the affordability and overall stock, we had Clermont at a B- and Winter Garden over at a B- as well. Good for families, they said Winter Garden was an A- and Clermont was a B+. Lastly, crime and safety over in Clermont, they said it was a C+, and over in Winter Garden, they said again, C+. Bringing our overall rankings of places to live at Winter Garden to an A and Clermont to an A-. So again, very similar, and kind of easy to see why so many people look at Clermont and Winter Garden, and it gets to be almost a little confusing because both places are so similar. According to niche.com, Clermont was number 4 best place to live in all of Central Florida. Winter Garden ranked number 2, and so again, you can see they're very close. So at the end of the day, I think you need to decide of what's your lifestyle like and then what's your budget like. Overall, Clermont's gonna be about 10% cheaper than living in Winter Garden. Winter Garden's gonna be a lot closer to Disney, but Clermont's gonna have a lot more of the rural outdoor life. And so depending on what you're looking for, they're really great options right next to each other. And so even if you do live in Winter Garden, you could take advantage of Clermont and vice versa. So if you're looking to buy or sell a house anywhere in Central Florida, my team and I want to be your real estate resource of choice. Reach out to us at theorlandoreal.com/YouTube to get started. We'll see you guys on the next video.